Barcelona signing a Liverpool star. Arsenal's first urgent transfer. Rashford's new club will shock everyone. Guardiola is preparing 80 million euros for a Juventus defender. Neymar won't play for Al Hilal anymore. Trent has agreed on a contract with Real Madrid. All this and much more in today's episode. If this video gets 500 thumbs up, it will motivate us to keep creating new content. So enjoy watching and let's get started. Well friends, when you hear Neymar, you can't help but think the eternal tragedy of immense talent. Was it the stars misaligning or fate taking a vacation? Either way, the last few months for the Brazilian have been pure madness. When he moved to Saudi Arabia, everyone thought, finally. Big money, the club's massive ambitions, and Neymar himself set to become the crown jewel of the Sheikh's global showcase. And what's the result? Oh right, 1 goal in 7 games. As the saying goes, they reached for the crane in the sky and couldn't even hold on to the bird in their hand. And now comes a bombshell from Al Hilal's coach Jorge Jesus. Neymar is no longer up to par. Can you believe it? Just imagine. A guy with a 100 million euro contract, and they're saying this. Jesus announced that Neymar won't even be registered for the second half of the Saudi Pro League season. Not just benched, he won't be part of the league at all. Why? Because apparently his level isn't the same anymore. Harsh, right? And to make matters worse, there's the knee injury. Let's not forget, he tore his ligaments during a World Cup qualifier in October, and that was it. While Neymar is recovering, the club's management is reportedly preparing the paperwork for what we might call his likely exit. Let's not mince words. This is a club that dropped 90 million euros on him. Now the question is, where can they offload him? Here's the juiciest part. If the door to the Saudi Pro League is shut, where does Neymar go next? Enter MLS, our favorite league for star-studded drama. According to ESPN, Neymar is already in talks with 3 clubs across the pond. One of the options being floated? Chicago Fire. Sure, it sounds nice on paper, but let's be real. Neymar and Chicago? Not exactly a dream fit. Chicago, by the way, hasn't even sniffed the playoffs since 2017, finishing dead last in the Eastern Conference last season. As they say, one more Brazilian, and they're definitely sliding downhill. But MLS always has one iconic name, Inter Miami. Naturally, the first thought is, of course, he'll join Messi, Busquets, and Alba. No need to even scout for former Barca players. But there's a snag. Miami's designated player slots are already maxed out. What do you think though? Could they find a workaround? We all know Americans are masters of loopholes. Let's be honest, the Sheikhs have been on a spending spree for a while now. Benzema, Ronaldo, Mané, big-name players, but all pushing 30 or older. And it worked. The views, the buzz, it's all there. But the lifestyle? Do you think a guy like Neymar, with his love for parties, wild nightlife, and let's say less than disciplined diet, could last long there? This is how it's all panned out. Massive money, minimal results. And as for Neymar, it seems he's realized the lights have dimmed for him at Al Hilal. Now, Neymar faces 2 options. Option 1, agree to the club's terms and stay just for the AFC Champions League, a practical solution to wrap up the season without drama. Option 2, pack his bags and head to another continent. What do you think? Could Neymar help elevate MLS to the next level? Or is he better off sticking to Instagram likes? It looks like Liverpool is gearing up for a significant overhaul of their defensive flanks. And their main target for reinforcement, who would have thought, is Bournemouth defender Milos Kerkez. The guy has only just made a name for himself in England, but top clubs are already circling. You might be wondering, what's so special about this Kerkez? Let me tell you, this guy is electric, quick, sharp, fearless, and loves getting involved in attack while staying solid in defense. In short, he's the prototypical modern fullback. And judging by the current situation, Liverpool desperately needs a player like him. Why, you ask? Well, it's simple. Good old Andy Robertson is a legend, no doubt, a workhorse. But, as they say, age catches up with everyone. His pace isn't quite what it used to be, and consistency has started to waver. And Tsimikas? Well, let's be honest, Timmy is a hard-working guy, but he's not quite reached the level of a Liverpool starter just yet. So the left flank of defense is starting to look like the weak link they need to strengthen ASAP if they want to compete for titles. And this is where Kerkez comes into the picture. And it's not just Liverpool eyeing him, Man City and Man United are in the race too. This is shaping up to be a real battle, a clash of titans over the young Hungarian. But according to iNews, Liverpool might have a trump card up their sleeve. That trump card goes by the name of Richard Hughes, Liverpool's sporting director. Apparently, Hughes and Kerkez know each other from their days at Bournemouth, and word has it they share a good relationship, and in football, connections can play a decisive role. That said, it's not going to be straightforward. Bournemouth won't let their budding star go without a fight. Heard the asking price? £50 million. That's one heck of an appetite. But hey, that's the modern transfer market for you. Completely insane with sky-high prices. Any remotely talented player will cost you 3 times their value. Still, Liverpool seems ready to shell out the cash. Clearly, they've set their sights firmly on getting Kerkez on board. And from what we hear, the player himself wouldn't mind making the move to Anfield. And there's an interesting tidbit here. Bournemouth seems to have already moved quickly by bringing in Julio Soler as a potential replacement for Kerkez. That's some efficiency. They must sense the storm brewing and are preparing for the possibility of losing their Hungarian gem. Smart move. Although Soler is an intriguing player, whether he can immediately fill Kerkez's shoes remains a big question. In any case, if you look at the bigger picture, signing Kerkez isn't just a tactical reinforcement, it's more like a statement of intent, perhaps even a symbol of a new era. With Arne Slot coming in as Liverpool's manager, armed with fresh ideas and a new footballing philosophy, he'll need players who can bring his vision to life on the pitch. Kerkez seems to fit the bill perfectly. Young, promising, and hungry for success. Just what the doctor ordered. But there are definitely some hurdles. Competing with City and United is always a headache. The City Group's owners don't exactly shy away from spending and could easily outbid any offer. So Liverpool will have to act fast and decisively if they want to secure Kerkez. That said, we're fairly confident the transfer will happen, and if not, well, then it's back to the drawing board to figure out who else Liverpool has in mind for the left-back role. What do you think about this potential signing? Would it be a good addition to the squad, or do you think £50 million is way too much? Share your thoughts in the comments. If the rumours are true, and we all know that sometimes they turn out to be, Barcelona is planning something so wild, it's hard to believe. Remember Ansu Fati, the kid who was once tipped to be Messi's heir? Well, word on the street is that the Catalans are ready to say goodbye to him. Sell him. And who do you think they want to buy? Marcus Rashford. Marcus freaking Rashford from Manchester United. What a bold move, huh? Barca, a club that's not exactly in the best financial shape, is aiming for a Manchester United player, and they're doing it in quite the roundabout way. Ansu Fati, unfortunately, hasn't lived up to the expectations that were placed on him. Injuries, inconsistency. The truth is, he hasn't truly found his place. Even during his loan spells, like at Brighton, he didn't exactly shine. It's harsh, but according to reports, Barcelona sees him more as a way to make some money rather than as a valuable player. That's how it is, folks. Yesterday, you're the future of the club. Today, you're just a trade chip. The harsh reality of football. And what about Rashford? Things at United aren't exactly perfect for him either. Sure, the talent is there and he has his moments, but he's lacking consistency. And now, enter Barcelona with a deal that, reportedly, Marcus is thrilled about. Rumour has it, he's even willing to take a pay cut just to move to Catalonia. Of course, this raises a ton of questions. First of all, how is Barca planning to make this deal happen from a financial standpoint? Selling Fati is one thing, but will that be enough to cover Rashford's transfer fee and his wages? And let's not forget about financial fair play rules. Then again, Barca has always been creative with their finances, so they'll probably figure something out, or at least try their hardest to. Secondly, what does Ansu Fati himself think about this? The kid reportedly doesn't want to leave his boyhood club, even though his playing time is practically non-existent. But if the club decides it's necessary, well, there's not much he can do. Leaving Barca could be an opportunity for Fati to reboot his career, although it might feel like betrayal on the club's part. What do you think about that? There are also reports that Rashford is being pursued by a number of other clubs, including AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund. But it seems like Marcus has his sights set on Barca. That's what you call a dream. Or maybe it's just the appeal of a beautiful city and a warm climate? Everyone can draw their own conclusions. Here's another interesting point. They say Sir Jim Ratcliffe himself has blocked Rashford from moving to other English clubs. Can you imagine? Apparently, he doesn't want to pay Marcus's salary only for him to strengthen a rival. Fair enough, I suppose. What we're left with is quite the convoluted story. Barcelona is desperate to sign Rashford. Rashford is keen on moving to Catalonia. But for that to happen, Barca needs to sell Fati, who doesn't want to go, all while battling financial difficulties. It's a real football riddle. Do you think the Catalans will manage to untangle it, or will it all stay in the realm of speculation? Something tells me there are still plenty of twists and turns ahead. Honestly, I'm not entirely convinced this transfer will happen. There are just too many what-ifs. And to wrap things up, here's the most important question of the day. Do you think this is even a fair trade? Hypothetically speaking, of course. Fati for Rashford. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Can't wait to see whose side you're on in this saga. It seems like Manchester City has decided to go all in and is targeting Andrea Cambiaso. And you know what's the most interesting part? Rumor has it that Juventus has slapped an €80 million price tag on him. Can you even wrap your head around that? Some might call it daylight robbery, while others might scratch their heads and say the guy is worth it. So, why is City so interested in Cambiaso? Well, the thing is, it looks like Kyle Walker is preparing to leave. Walker, by the way, is already 34 years old, and it seems like he's ready for a change of scenery. Rumor has it that he's practically one step away from joining AC Milan. And Cambiaso, it turns out, is being considered as his potential replacement. Italian sources are shouting that the deal is almost done, while outlets like the BBC are being more cautious, saying that negotiations haven't progressed that much. Who should we believe? One thing's for sure, we're not jumping to any conclusions just yet. What do we know about Cambiaso himself? First off, he's young. He'll soon turn 25. He's a Genoa Academy product. Juventus bought him for what seems like a laughable €13 million in today's market. They loaned him out to Bologna for a while, but now he's fully integrated into Juventus's first team and performing well. This season, he's played 25 matches, scored 2 goals, and provided 2 assists. And what's even more important is that he's a versatile player. He can play as a left back, a right back, and even as a wing back. And here's what our intuition tells us. Pep Guardiola has his eye on him precisely because of this versatility. After all, we all know how Pep loves his utility players who can cover multiple positions. By the way, Manchester City has been particularly active this January in the transfer market. You might be thinking right now, are they crazy trying to buy everyone out there? But it looks like they're aiming for a serious squad refresh. There are rumors about Kusanov, Reis, Marmoush. The list goes on. By the end of the transfer window, Guardiola's team might look unrecognizable. That said, Juventus doesn't seem too keen on selling Cambiaso right now, in the middle of the season. They'd prefer to wait until summer. But, as they say, City isn't known for waiting. And if they offer something like €70 to €80 million, it's likely the Italians won't be able to resist. All in all, the situation is, to put it simply, quite intriguing. Manchester City is clearly looking to strengthen their squad, and Cambiaso seems like a very solid option. On the other hand, €80 million is a staggering amount. Is he really worth that kind of money? Hard to say. What do you think? Do you believe this transfer makes sense? Is Cambiaso worth the money, or is City just throwing cash around carelessly? It seems like the Catalan club has decided to dust off its old ways and once again fire up its transfer machine to full capacity. And if the rumors are to be believed, their main target right now is the Colombian winger from the Reds. So what do we know at this point? If Colombian media reports are accurate, Barca has already let Liverpool know that they intend to make an official offer for Diaz in the summer. And the approach has reportedly been both direct and, dare we say, rather bold. Better sell him now before he leaves on a free. Quite cheeky, isn't it? But as they say in football, all's fair in love, war, and transfers. Let's not forget, Barca's interest in Diaz isn't a new story. There was talk last summer about the Colombian potentially moving to Spain, but somehow it didn't come together back then. And now there's chatter about his contract situation hanging in the balance. Maybe he wants a salary bigger than what Liverpool is ready to offer, or maybe he's just playing for time. Whatever the case, there's a whiff of intrigue about the whole situation. And now here comes Barcelona, reportedly ready to splash a whopping €70 million. Wow, now that's an appetite. On one hand, it's a hefty sum, but on the other, considering the kind of player Diaz is, maybe it's not that outrageous? And here's the most interesting part. Word is, Diaz himself isn't against moving to Spain. Apparently, he dreams of playing in La Liga. And really, who wouldn't dream of that? Sun, sea, Barcelona living the dream. And according to reports, Barca is already deep in talks with his agents. So, as they say, the ball is rolling. But here's the big question. What does Liverpool have to say about all this? They're a stubborn bunch, and losing one of their key players likely isn't part of their plans. Diaz's contract runs until 2027 after all. But, as the saying goes, money talks. And €70 million is no small chunk of change. It could become a strong argument in favour of the sale. On the other hand, there's the flip side of the coin, Barcelona's financial situation. Let's not forget the stories about their wage cap troubles and La Liga restrictions. Just registering Dani Olmo reportedly gave them headaches. So how exactly are they planning to fork out €70 million for Diaz? Honestly, it's hard to believe. That said, in football, anything is possible. Someone is probably shouting, "This is nonsense, Liverpool will never let him go." And to be fair, there's some truth in that. Diaz is a key player for Liverpool, and losing him would be a big blow. But let's not forget that football is also a business, and big money can work wonders. If Barcelona is truly serious, Liverpool might have no choice but to give it some serious thought. And this brings us to the most intriguing part. What will it all lead to? Will Barcelona manage to gather the funds? Will Liverpool agree to part ways with their star? And will Diaz want to change the scenery? What do you think? Will Luis Diaz become a Barcelona player? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Barca or Team Liverpool on this one? Will Barca pull off this transfer, or will Liverpool stand firm? We're dying to hear your opinion. According to Fabrizio Romano, Massimiliano Allegri, yes, the very Mr. Tactics from Juventus, is practically on his way to Saudi Arabia, and not just to some mid-table team, but to Al Ahly. You know, the club that's reportedly targeting none other than Vinicius Jr. Looks like the Sheikhs decided that if they're going for a star like that, they need a coach of Champions League caliber to match. Well, almost. To be honest, we're kind of shocked. Sure, we knew Al Ahly had plenty of cash, but to go after Allegri like this, that's next level. Rumor has it the parties have already come to an agreement, and Massimiliano will start his new job in June. Until then, as is usually the case, there'll be an acting coach, just a placeholder for now. Now, you might be wondering, why would Allegri make such a move? Well, the answer is simple. Money. No need for a crystal ball here. It's all about the cash. Some of you might say, but wasn't he making good money at Juve? Sure, he was. But maybe he has a plan, spend a couple of years in Saudi Arabia, rake in the cash, and then return to Europe with a hefty severance package, Mancini style. Who knows with this sly fox? And let's not forget, if the reports are true, Al Ahly wasn't the only club Allegri was flirting with. Calciomercato and other sources claim he was also linked to Roma, Milan, and even the Belgian national team. Imagine that, a national team. But it seems the Sheikhs made a more convincing pitch. Or maybe Allegri just got tired of the European grind and decided it's time to soak up some sun and fatten up his bank account, eh? Since leaving Juventus, Allegri has been in high demand, his name constantly popping up in the news, but with no concrete deals. And now, boom, Saudi Arabia. By the way, Gianluca Di Marzio reports that Al Ahly isn't even the first Saudi club to set its sights on Allegri. Apparently, Al-Shabaab held talks with him last month, but it seems Al Ahly made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Something tells us it's not just about the money. Maybe they promised him full control, unlimited transfer funds, or something equally tempting. We get it. Allegri's decision makes sense. Who'd say no to such a deal? But here's what we don't get. Why would anyone watch the Saudi Pro League? Seriously, no Champions League, no matches against European giants. It's just not the same. Sure, some people watch the league, but it's mostly a local audience. And that's not enough. The whole idea behind this was to create some sort of counterweight to European football. But frankly, we just don't see it happening. Apart from the money, there's nothing else there. From the perspective of players and coaches heading there, their choices are understandable. But why would a fan tune in when you've got, say, the Premier League to watch? If anyone out there has an answer, let us know in the comments below. We're pretty sure some of you are following the Saudi Pro League. So, what can we say? Allegri seems ready to make a drastic change. Honestly, we're a little sad about it. We'd love to see him at a European top club, proving himself outside of Serie A. Do you think Allegri made the right choice? Or should he have stayed in Europe? It seems like Arsenal has seriously set their sights on Viktor Gyökeres from Sporting, and not just in a casual, let's see if it works out kind of way, but with a very concrete goal: to buy out his contract for an eye-watering £84 million. Just take a moment to process that number. And here comes the big question. Why the sudden urgency? Well, as the saying goes, let's lay all the cards on the table. Remember when Jesus, got sidelined? Not just a minor under-the-weather moment, but a long-term injury. And, as is always the case, at the worst possible time. It seems Mikel Arteta has finally run out of patience. They need a striker, and they need one right now. And Gyökeres, let's be honest, is absolutely tearing up the league in Portugal this season. 32 goals and 6 assists in 30 matches. That's no small feat. The guy is on fire. And as we all know, Mikel Arteta has had his eye on players of this caliber for a while. So, Arsenal's interest in the Swede isn't exactly breaking news, but this level of determination to shell out such a massive sum in January. Now, that's something new. By the way, here's another interesting tidbit. Rumour has it that in the summer, Gyökeres could be available for less, around £63 million. So, theoretically, Arsenal could just wait it out. But apparently, the recent drop points in their matches have left them so desperate that they're willing to overpay by £20 million just to secure reinforcements this winter. Now that's what I call pressure. And here lies the dilemma. Is it really worth it? £84 million for a player from the Portuguese league. It's a seriously hefty price tag. Sure, the guy's scoring, he's physically strong, he's technical. In fact, he's being compared to some of the top Premier League strikers. But as they say, tearing it up in Portugal is one thing, and consistently delivering in the English Premier League is a whole different beast. The pace is faster, the defences are tougher, and let's not forget, the Premier League is a meat grinder. Can he immediately adapt to the game and lead the team to the title? That's a big question. And honestly, we've been asking ourselves the same thing. Some might argue that it's a waste of money. They'll say there are other options, that Arsenal could have gone for younger talents or signed a tried-and-true veteran even if they're not quite as prolific at the moment. Others, however, might counter by saying, in war, all means are fair, and if there's a real chance to bolster the attack and push for the title, you have to take the risk. And there's some logic to that. After all, we all remember how Arsenal fell just short of catching Man City last season, and a clinical striker might have been the missing piece. There's also another interesting angle. Is Gyökeres himself ready to make a sudden leap into English football? He's already stated that he'd love to play for a top European club in the near future. So it seems like the desire is there. And let's be honest, that's an important factor. And we can't forget that Arsenal has shown interest in Gyökeres before, though back then nothing materialized. This time, it seems circumstances have forced their hand. Jesus' injury, the pressing need to strengthen the attack right here and now, everything has aligned like stars in the sky. It looks like Arsenal's January transfer window is shaping up to be a pretty eventful one. And if this transfer goes through, it will be a serious statement of intent. Whether Gyökeres will live up to the expectations in his new team, however, is an entirely different story. And as I look at this whole situation, I can't help but wonder, what if he's the missing puzzle piece Arsenal has been searching for? What if Gyökeres becomes the new star of the Emirates? What do you think? Will Gyökeres fly into Arsenal like a rocket, or will this turn into just another overpriced flop? If the latest rumours are to be believed, specifically from the Spanish outlet Marca, Trent Alexander-Arnold is packing his bags for Madrid. Here's the situation. Trent's contract with Liverpool is apparently set to expire in 6 months, and Real Madrid, like true predators, have picked up the scent of an opportunity. Turns out they've been hunting Trent for quite some time, and now the moment of truth has arrived. According to Marca, Real Madrid has already made Liverpool a discounted offer. And honestly, who'd have doubted it? Bargain hunters at their finest. But Liverpool, of course, aren't fools. They're not about to let one of their key players go for peanuts. And rightly so. As we all know, Trent isn't just a player. He's a symbol of Liverpool, a homegrown talent, and one of the best right-backs in the world. Marca claims that Alexander-Arnold has already given the green light to a move to Madrid this summer. Can you imagine that? Trent, in a white Real Madrid jersey, stepping out at the Santiago Bernabéu? It's hard to picture, honestly. But, as they say, time will tell. What's even more intriguing is that Real Madrid isn't ruling out the possibility of signing Trent as early as January. The idea is to give Liverpool one last chance to make some money on him before he leaves for free in the summer. Well, it makes sense. It's business, after all. But to us, a January transfer feels pretty unlikely. What do you think? I bet many of you are wondering about this too. Still, the Spanish side hasn't lost hope. Reports say Real Madrid is ready to give Liverpool one last chance to cash in on Trent. But if it doesn't work out, they're more than happy to wait until summer to sign him for free. And there you have it. A real chess game. Honestly, it's hard to believe that Liverpool would let go of such a key player so easily. It would be like, I don't know, like Barcelona letting a young Messi leave for free. Okay, maybe that comparison is a bit dramatic, but you get the point. And now, a bunch of questions arise. Why is Trent suddenly considering a change of scenery? What's missing for him at Liverpool? Is he tired of English football? Does he want to test himself in La Liga? Or has Real simply offered him the contract of a lifetime, one he can't refuse? Marca seems confident that Trent's move to Real Madrid is already a done deal. What's more, rumour has it that Carlo Ancelotti has said Trent is their only transfer target for this January window. And you know, when Marca, a source very close to Real Madrid, reports something like this, there's usually some truth to it. Although, of course, nothing is guaranteed until it's officially announced. However, it's not all so simple. As we've mentioned before, Liverpool is still negotiating a contract extension with Trent. But so far, there hasn't been a breakthrough. And this is where things get interesting. Maybe Trent is just waiting for better terms from Liverpool, and maybe Real Madrid is using this as leverage to pressure Liverpool into making a decision. Here's another curious detail. According to El Chiringuito, there will be no January transfer unless the clubs agree on a price below 35 million euros. Meanwhile, Transfermarkt values Trent at a whopping 75 million euros. Now, that's some crazy disparity, isn't it? It's clear that both sides are playing their cards, trying to outsmart each other. In our opinion, all this talk of a January transfer might just be a tactical ploy by Real Madrid. They probably want to lower Liverpool's asking price, just our 2 cents, but losing a player like Trent would be a huge blow. Then again, if he's decided to try something new in a different league, that's his choice. The most important thing is that he continues to shine wherever he goes. Now, here's the big question. Do you think Trent Alexander-Arnold will end up at Real Madrid? And if so, when? This January? Or as a free agent in the summer? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this story, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on all the latest football news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!